All right, let's get right into it. If you've spent any time in the cloud-native space, you've heard it a million times, right? The golden rule. Don't you dare run a database on Kubernetes. Well, guess what? That rule is totally dead. The game has changed, and we're going to unpack exactly how this platform, which was all about temporary stuff, finally learned to handle things that need to stick around. And, this quote was the mantra for years, and it made perfect sense. It just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It captures that core fear that kept engineers up at night, the idea of putting their most precious data inside a Kubernetes cluster. For the longest time, it felt like a problem that just couldn't be solved. I know, man, what a mosh pit it was. In the early days, Kubernetes was just built for one thing: stateless apps. The kind of thing you could spin up, scale out, and just, poof, get rid of without worrying. Super powerful, super agile. But for a database, something that actually needs to remember stuff, it was a total nightmare. Okay, so let's be real here. Those fears, they were 100% justified. Trying to force a traditional database into the early days of Kubernetes, yeah, that was like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. A recipe for disaster. So what exactly were the problems? Why was it such a bad idea? And this is where that classic analogy comes in. Cattle versus pets. It just explains it perfectly. Think about it. Your web server pods, they're cattle. Totally anonymous. You can have 1,000 of them. If one goes down, who cares? You just spin up another one. But your database? Oh no, that's your pet. It's got a name, it's got a history, you have to take care of it. You can't just get a new one and expect it to be the same. So really, it all came down to 3 basic things a database absolutely needs. 3 things that early Kubernetes just couldn't do. Number 1, a stable identity. It needs a name that doesn't change. Number 2, its data has to stick around, even if the container itself goes away. And number 3, you have to manage it carefully, in a specific order, not just chaos. But then, things started to shift. And I'm not talking about some small update. Kubernetes started to evolve in a major way, and 3 game-changing features came along that tackled these exact problems head-on, turning what was once impossible into, well, just another day at the office. First on the list, StatefulSets. And look, this wasn't just some new toy. This was Kubernetes basically shouting from the rooftops, hey, we care about stateful apps now. It solved those first 2 big problems, identity and order, by giving every single pod a permanent, predictable name and making sure they're managed in a super strict sequence. This is where it gets really cool. With a stateful set, a pod called, say, db-pod0 will always be db-pod0. It can restart 100 times, it doesn't matter. And when you want to add another one, it carefully creates db-pod1 after the first one is running perfectly. And updates? It does them in reverse order, one by one, to make sure nothing breaks. It's like a perfectly coordinated dance for your data. Okay, so we've got a stable name, awesome, but there was still this huge, terrifying problem: storage. I mean, the whole point of a container was that its storage was temporary. It was tied directly to that one pod's life. And the result of that? It was brutal. If that pod died, for any reason, a server crash, anything, your data was gone. Poof. And for a database, that isn't just a glitch, that's game over, catastrophe. It was the absolute deal breaker. And then came the solution: persistent volumes, or PVs. This is the magic wand that makes temporary storage a thing of the past. What it does is completely separate the life of your data from the life of your pod. So a pod can die, get restarted on a totally new machine, and it just hooks right back up to its storage, with all the data sitting there safe and sound. It's like giving your data its own permanent address inside the cluster. All right, so we've got identity, we've got storage, we're getting there. But what's the missing piece? The brains of the operation. And that's where operators come in. Seriously, just think of an operator as a robot DBA that lives inside your cluster 24/7. It is the absolute secret sauce that takes this whole thing from, yeah, it's possible, to, wow, this is actually amazing. And these robot DBAs have some legit superpowers. I'm talking about stuff that used to need a whole team of experts. Things like automatically handling backups, doing complex, zero-downtime upgrades, spinning up new read replicas when traffic spikes, and maybe the coolest one, automatically detecting a failure and switching over to a healthy backup. It's just a whole new level of automation. So, okay, the tech is awesome. We get it. But, so what? Why does this actually matter? This isn't just about showing off cool tech. Adopting this way of working gives you a huge strategic leg up. I mean, the payoffs are massive. All of a sudden, your team has one platform, one set of tools to manage everything, your stateless apps and your stateful databases all living together. You can manage your entire database setup with GitOps, just like your code. And the best part, since it's all just Kubernetes configs, you're not locked into any single cloud provider. You can run it anywhere. And this is the big picture right here. Your Kubernetes cluster stops being just a place to run your stateless apps. It becomes the platform for your entire development process. Your databases aren't these weird, fragile things you have to keep separate anymore. Nope. They're first-class citizens managed with the exact same awesome tools as everything else. So when you step back, you see we've gone on this incredible journey. We started in a place where doing this was basically a sin, and now we're in a world where it's becoming the standard. It's not just a change. It's a total paradigm shift in how we handle our data. So let's just call it what it is. That old warning, don't run databases on K8s, it's obsolete. It's history. The platform is all grown up now. The tools are solid, they've been tested in the real world, and they are more than ready to handle the most important data your business has. And this is really the main point you should walk away with. The whole conversation has changed. The risk isn't about whether you should do it anymore. That problem's been solved. The new risk, the real challenge today, is making sure you know how to use these powerful tools the right way. Which really leaves us with one final question. The debate over if we should do this is officially over. The new question everyone should be asking is how. How fast can you and your team master these tools and do it right? Because this stateful revolution isn't coming, it's already here, and it's time to get on board.